Today I'll be making a segmented turning from these two pieces of Padook. 25 segments from this one and 25 from that. It's going to be a pretty simple turning, but it's going to be the most special and meaningful turning that I've made. And we'll talk about that later at the end, and I'll tell you what that's all about. Because the turning is so easy, I want to talk a little bit about my sled and my setup, because I've been asked that. I'm making 25 segments per ring. I had to make a special wedge to do that, and I was able to do that on my CNC mill. It's exact. But setting them up is no different if that's 12 or 24 or whatever. You get it up against here and you slide it down. You make sure those rails are against it the whole distance. If you're off a little bit, the segments will be off. I always take a scrap piece. This is a piece of maple. I'm looking for the lines here. I put lines on the top and up against the side here. That's going to go here, and it's going to go up there. Keep the line up, keep the line against your rail. The reason I use this side is the blade's coming around pushing against it. It makes it easy to hold the block where it belongs. If you have it down here, it's going to try to pull it away. So you're here and you're here. The other thing is I've got a little ramp on here at 45 degrees. It just needs to be a little below your sled. The pieces will, after they're cut, they'll fall away from it. They're not going to sit there spinning and having the blade catch it and throw it past your head like a line drive. After making my first cut, and I always like to take a little scrap to set the thing up, I'll measure it with digital calipers, make sure it's exactly right. This is 3/4. If I allowed it to be a 32nd big, 25 of those would be slightly bigger than 3/4 of an inch. Your ring's going to grow, it's not going to be what you designed. That's my stop. I want that stop away from the fence. I don't want to use the fence for a stop. And as soon as I index this piece, I want to be away from it before I get to the blade. Otherwise, that'll bind as well. Alright, that's a couple tips. Besides that, I use a digital angle finder to set the blade at 90. Okay, let's go ahead and start cutting these segments and make my very special segmented turning. I just did a dry fit and they look like they're going to be fine. I'll use Titebond 3 because it has a little longer working time. I let this sit all night and I took the clamps off and I sanded the face with my 14-inch disc sander. I'll now glue these together. I'll use the Titebond Original for this because I'm not needing a lot of work time for this. And didn't bring my glue spreader over, so I'll use this one. I also noticed gluing them rings together, I kept getting my head in the way and all you can see is my white hair, so I moved the camera back so I wouldn't do that. Okay, I just need to stagger the joints, and I actually put some pencil lines on here to be able to do that. And I'll just use these spring clamps, let it sit while the glue dries, which won't take all that long really. There's another pencil line in the middle of one of the segments. And then there's one more right here. So that was pretty easy to do. As you can see, I added a lot more clamps on there and it's been sitting long enough. Let's go get it mounted up in the lathe and start turning it. I've got it mounted in the chuck. I just need to turn this inside diameter, flatten this face, and then I can flip it around and work on the other side. 1/2-inch bowl gouge and doing about 800 RPM, and I think I'll just shear scrape this. Okay. I want to cut this straight down. I think I'll grab my parting tool and we'll do that. I switched chucks because I have some bigger jaws on this one, and I've got a pretty good size opening, and these will just expand into that. Those are dovetail jaws, and I didn't put a dovetail on this, but I'm taking light cuts and I think it'll be fine. Let's see how that runs. Not too bad at all. So first thing I'm going to do is make this round. 1/2-inch bowl gouge, 800 RPM. Okay, now I need to flatten that face. Okay, now I need to cut a 3-inch diameter right there. Then I'll start designing the shape that I put on this. I'll get that marked and I'll be right back. Okay, I put a pencil line on here and I just need to cut it down close to that and then check it. And I cannot let that get big, that's for sure. Okay, that's 2.8. So we're getting a little close. You're probably wondering, what am I making? Well, you'll see pretty soon. I gotta check something though, and I don't want you to watch. Okay, it will not be long, and I'll be telling you why I made this. I just tested what goes in here. It fits perfect. I thought about putting a little OG shape on there, but I did say at the beginning that this is going to be a simple turning. So I am just going to put a chamfer on it because it's going to go well with what I put in here. And I know it's not a real exciting turning, and it's not really about the turning, but it's something really special for me. So let me get that chamfer on it, get it sanded up, and we'll get some finish on there, and then I'll explain everything. $829 RPM, and we're using my 1/2-inch bowl gouge. Alright, this cuts so smooth I can start with 150, and I'm going to do this outside here in reverse, about 400 RPM. And actually I can do this right here, same way. And then we'll get this edge right there. So that's not going to take very much. It's very smooth right now. I'll go ahead and get it up to 400, and we'll get back and I'll spray some lacquer on it. Okay, I've taken my little chuck protector that I use when I'm spraying. Got it fit in here. I'll set it on the turntable, and I'm going to spray my favorite lacquer on it, Deft. Okay. Even though Padauk does bleed, it's all Padauk, so I don't have to worry about it staining anything else. Alright, I don't know how many coats I'll put on. I'll put it on until I really like it, so probably 4 or 5. And when I come back, we will be finished. And I'll show you what we have. Well, here it is, and in the beginning I said this would be a simple little turning, and it is. It's made out of 50 Padauk segments. I sprayed it 5 times with lacquer. I went over it with X-abrasive paste and polish. And it makes a nice little ring. But it's not just a ring, so let me show you what it is. It's a frame for a clock, and it actually is a nice looking little clock. I think the clock and the Padauk go together very nice. And the thing with the clock is it keeps track of time. But if you watch a clock, time goes really slow. But time can really pass by if you're not paying attention, and that's what has happened. Today is May 20th, 2022. On May 20th, 1972, my wife and I were married. So today is our 50th wedding anniversary. I engraved on the back side, it says Gary and Laverna, 50th wedding anniversary, May 20th, 2022. This actually worked out perfect because I post my videos on a Friday, and today's our anniversary. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I want to thank everyone for watching and for all of your support. But more than that, I want to thank my wife for saying yes 50 years ago. Thank you, my love. Now it's time to give her the present. Also, make sure you stick around and watch the pictures because I'll have a special one in there. So, till the next time, I'll see you later.